This is an upper and lower bounds question, at least to start with. So let's have a look at it. 67,500. But this number has been rounded correct to the nearest 100. Now I'm just gonna focus on the 100 part because 67,000 doesn't really come into it. So we've got that it's been rounded to 500, and then we need to find the highest possible attendance and the lowest possible attendance. So I've just drawn a number line to help me out with this. So the highest possible attendance, I need to think what number would round down to 500. Like 502 would, because that, if I rounded to the nearest 100, 510 and so forth. And often we say it's like the point halfway, so 550. Now often when you're doing upper and lower bound questions, you do say this is the sort of the upper bound. But in this case, because it's a discrete quantity, it's like a whole number, 550 would round up to 600, and 549 would actually round down. So the answer is going to be 67,549. We're not allowed to have like 549.99999. That's when we sort of sometimes say that the upper bound is actually the point here. I'm talking more about if it was say 1.7 to one decimal place, then the upper bound would be 1.75. Even that, though, that would round up to 1.8, because this is now sort of it's got a decimal in it and everything. Then you would just say that this is the upper bound, but it always has to be less than it. But for this sort of discrete amount, you have to go with 67,549. Hopefully I've convinced you of that. The lowest one's a bit easier actually, because that's going to be the halfway point. It's going to be 67,450, because that is the lowest number that rounds up to 67,500. All right. Part B is a sneaky one. Truncate. You need to know what the word truncate means. Now, if I have 1.78 and I round that to say one decimal place, then I would round it to 1.8. But if I truncate it, I actually make it 1.7. Truncate just means like chop off, get rid of it. So I need to think about distances truncated to do two decimal places, and that we're going to get 6.73. Now, if I had 6.729, say, then if I truncate this to two decimal places, I just chop the 9 off and it would be 6.72. So 6.729 is not going to truncate. It's not going to be the smallest one. Actually, the smallest one is going to be 6.73 itself. If I truncate that to two decimal places, I'm going to be left with 6.73. But anything less would become 6.72999 or whatever, and that would just get chopped off and become 6.72. And this helps us with the next part actually, because if I have 6.74, then that would truncate to 6.74. But if I had 6.73999, etc., then in fact that would truncate to 6.73. I just get rid of these nines, and so I can add as many nines as I want, and it's going to be any number that's less than 6.74. This is a sneaky start to this paper, I think, question one. But hopefully these all make sense. This truncation one, first time you see it, it might catch you out, but just make a note and be ready for them if you see them again.